Oh my God. Drew McIntyre is once again, the WWE champion for a second time in our main event of Monday Night Raw. I just finished watching Monday Night Raw, guys, and oh my goodness, I did not expect for Drew to win the title back so quickly, but it is happening. We are seeing Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns at Survivor Series. And guys, I know that this match has happened plenty of times last year. I mean, when Roman Reigns returned from his leukemia last year, and after battling with leukemia, when he made his return, they faced each other at WrestleMania last year, WrestleMania 35. They also faced each other at uh, at Battlegrounds. I mean, at Stomping Grounds last year, and they faced each other in a tremendous Extreme Rules tag team match when Drew teamed up with Shane McMahon to face Roman and The Undertaker. But these are two completely different guys since then. I mean, at that time, Drew was the heel, Roman was the babyface, but this time the roles were reversed because Drew. Since then, he went on to win the Royal Rumble. He actually alluded to this on SmackDown last week that it was Roman Reigns that he eliminated to win the Royal Rumble this year. Then he went on to beat Brock Lesnar in 5 minutes at WrestleMania. Meanwhile, Roman Reigns, took some time off for the global situation, came back as a heel, ended up winning the WWE the Universal Championship from the Fiend and Braun Strowman, that triple threat match right after SummerSlam at Payback. So these are two completely different guys since the last time we've seen these guys square off against each other. So they're no stranger to being in the ring with each other. But compared to when they faced each other last year, these are two completely different guys, and I absolutely cannot believe that this has happened. This is the third time that we've seen the WWE Championship change hands right before Survivor Series. Now, of course, last year the WWE title changed hands, but that was a month before Survivor Series when Brock Lesnar defeated Kofi Kingston in 6 seconds. But we're not going to talk about that. Prior to that, in 2018, Daniel Bryan defeated AJ Styles right before the Survivor Series. And when he turned heel, won the WWE Championship on SmackDown. AJ Styles actually beat Jinder Mahal right before Survivor Series back in 2017 when he won a WWE championship. So we've seen this is the third time we've seen this happen. I just can't believe it. And I don't even know. I can't even think of the last time the WWE championship even changed hands on Raw. I think this has been quite a few years since we've even seen the WWE championship change hands on Raw. But the last couple of times that this has happened, the last 3 consecutive years from 2017 to 2019, even though 2019 doesn't count because that was a month before Survivor Series, but we've seen the WWE Championship change hands on SmackDown 3 consecutive years. This is the first time in quite some time that we're seeing the WWE Championship change hands on Raw. In fact, I think the last time the WWE Championship changed hands on Raw was when Roman Reigns defeated Sheamus. It was towards the end of 2015 when the WWE Championship, World Heavyweight Champion were pretty much unified, and he actually beat him for the championship on Raw. I think that was the last time back in 2015, 5 years ago, when he beat Sheamus like right before 2016 got here and reclaimed the WWE Championship. That was the last time we seen that on Raw about 5 years ago, and my goodness, I mean, what a heck of a match. We've seen all types of stuff in this match. Randy being methodical, Randy Orton, literally three occasions. He dodged the Claymore 3 different occasions in this match. He went through a table. Drew put him through a table. He constantly backdropped Drew McIntyre through a table. I mean, this match was just absolutely insane. It started off pretty crazy because, Randy was trying to get the easy way out, take his way out, and get a count out victory and retain the belt. But Adam Pearce, who AKA is pretty much the general manager that they don't want to say, ended up making this match a no disqualification, no countouts, and then from there, you saw Randy Orton constantly hitting Drew McIntyre with a chair. But what about the motivation that Drew had prior to this? And you can tell that they're building up. They're slowly building up for a matchup between Drew and Sheamus, which I would love to see with this friendship of theirs that they've had for so long. What an amazing way to get Drew motivated by giving him some type of case that had his ancestor, part of his Scottish ancestry and family, and he actually wore that coming out. So you could just tell, just from the way they promoted this, just from the video package they showed prior to this match, that something was definitely going to happen. There was no way, in the back of my mind, I kind of knew in a way that Drew was going to win. Even though it was surprising, I kind of knew, because I'm like, there's no way they're going to promote this match like this and then Drew loses. Like they did a really good job with the video packages when they showed, the younger version of Drew, the younger version of Randy Orton, when they were comparing their careers with each other. Obviously, Randy Orton has had a lot more success than Drew, because Drew was more of a mid-carder when he first came in. Then he became a jobber, and then eventually he got fired. But it was a really good video package they showed, and throughout the night they kept constantly referencing to this match. So the intensity was there. I'll definitely give them that. And my goodness, I mean, Drew McIntyre once again for the second straight time as a WWE champion. Now, in a way, it kind of brings the question of what was exactly the point of having Orton win the title at Hell in a Cell. But we've seen stuff like this happen before, and I mean, I guess you can say that a heel versus heel match in this case, 'cause that's what would have happened if Randy Orton had retained. It would have been heel versus heel, him versus Roman. I don't think it really would have made any sense in this specific occasion. I mean, when Daniel Bryan turned heel right before Survivor Series and faced Brock Lesnar, when you watch the match, you can clearly see why they did that. And it was a match that really was technically supposed to happen way back in 2014, but Daniel Bryan was injured. But in this case, I mean, we've seen Orton and Roman go at it. We saw them face each other at SummerSlam back in 2014. Pretty decent match, not anything replay value, but pretty decent match. But I don't think in this occasion it would have made that much sense to have heel versus heel. So that was that was kind of another way that told you they were going to have a title, at least one title change tonight, because we also seen the New Day square off with the Hurt Business, which I thought was another amazing match. Even though the Hurt Business lost the match and New Day retained, I still thought it was amazing. I mean, Shelton Benjamin paid homage to Kurt Angle when he was part of T Angles. They surprisingly even referenced that the last time he was tag champion was with Charlie Hawks back in the World's Greatest Tag Team, self-proclaimed, back in 2003. That was a really interesting reference they did. But the match was really incredible. The New Day managed to retain the belts. Cedric looked good with that amazing brainbuster he hit on Kobe that Kobe kicked out of. Like I said, I love the fact that Shelton Benjamin paid homage to Kurt Angle with the angle slam. You saw a lot of Suicina dives by Cedric flying out of the ring. I mean, this match was really amazing. I nearly thought that the Hurt Business was going to pull out the victory, but we're going to see the New Day versus the Street Profits, which is really, I still think it's going to be a good match, but it would have been very interesting if the Hurt Business would have won. But definitely, I knew one title change was going to happen, and it happened to be Drew reclaiming the WWE Championship. So, this is definitely something that was insane. You got to hope to wonder what's going to happen after Survivor Series, since it's just one night. I mean, I'm sure that they're probably going to have Orton have one more match, even though this feud at this point should be coming to a close, but they might give Orton another match. Since they gave Drew a rematch, they'll probably give Orton a rematch again. So I wouldn't be too surprised about that. But man, what a match, what a match between these two guys. Definitely, you can feel the intensity. I mean, Drew finally hit the Claymore. Orton tried to go for the RKO, then he ran and got hit with the Claymore. Orton actually kicked out of the Future Shot DDT. Hit an amazing superplex on Drew McIntyre from the top of the rope. So we just kind of seen all types of stuff happen in this match here. And, once again, Drew McIntyre is the WWE champion for a second straight time. So, again, you can argue that it kind of defeats the purpose of him ever losing the belt. But at the same time, I mean, we're getting Drew versus Roman again, and this time, unlike last year, we're seeing two completely different guys. We're not seeing the same guys we saw last year. We're seeing two different guys. We're seeing guys that have pretty much one of them they've been trying to push for years in the main event status, but Drew has built his way up to the status, and you're seeing two guys that are the top champs of their uh, shows, respective brands, and I think it's going to be interesting. So yeah, definitely something interesting, guys. Drew is champion again, and like I said, it's the third straight time, really the fourth that we've seen the WWE Championship change hands. It's the third straight time we've seen the WWE Championship change hands right before Survivor Series, and it's the fourth time we've seen the WWE Championship change hands. Um, just in general on one of the shows. But the first time I think since 2015 we've seen it happen on Raw. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Sign off very much to Flexing. All right.